Hi, my name is Isaac Garcia. For the ones of you that know me, I'm a senior at Santiago. I'm an avid in classes like that. I'm here to discuss with you for What If Week about my self journey from where I came from and how I eventually got out of it. From my background, a lot of things that have happened to me have been dealt with like family. Because from the very beginning, I've always been in an abusive household. I've had a father that never acknowledged me, never cared about me. I had a brother that always locked me in a closet over summer breaks because he didn't want to deal with me. I had a mother who was physically, emotionally, and basically spiritually abusive to me every single day. I had a sister that never wanted to treat me like her own. She always tried to lower my self-esteem. And when I went to school, it was no better because I couldn't read or write or spell my own name. And the only letters I could understand were the F's on my report card because I knew what it had already signified me as what? A failure in life. I was given 2 disabilities. I was paired with dyslexia and a speech impairment, so all the kids would end up making fun of me. So for any kid that was lesser than me or weaker than me, I let out my anger onto them. I was given extra teachers and given extra attention. Instead of getting 20 words, I received 5 on a spelling test that took me forever to get right. I was held back in the 1st grade. I had a standard IEP level of the 4th grade. And then on top of that, I had a teacher one time tell me I would amount to nothing, that I would be a failure at life and I would go nowhere. Never being able to hold a job for more than a week, I would amount to literally nothing. I would be homeless, poor, and sad. But there was nothing more to me that mattered besides seeing my family suffer. Because at the end of the day, there was one person that made my sister cry, my brother cry, my father cry, and made myself cry on multiple occasions, and that was my mother. When I was 10 years old, my mother pushed my brother down the stairs, and without a goodbye, she picked us up and she took us away. She dropped us at grandma's house. She looked at me and she said, "You tell anyone, I will beat you." For 3 months, I said nothing. A case carrier came 2 months later because my sister had finally said something, and she asked me multiple questions, and every question I lied because I cared for my mother. I loved her. Because at the end of the day, even though she didn't love me, she was my mother. She was the only one I had, the only person to turn to, even though she always turned her back on us. But the one question I honestly and answered it truthfully was the last one they ask you. If you could have one wish, what would it be? I simply wish for my mother to disappear. Because at the end of the day, she was the root of all our sadness, all of our suffering. She was the reason why I tried to take my life 3 times, not because I was sad or depressed or unmotivated to do anything in life, but because I wanted to get back to her. I wanted to hurt her in ways that she knew it was her fault. I wanted her to feel the guilt and the sadness and the abandonment that I had felt when I was young. When I was on my bed, looking at the same ceiling fan I had been looking for 10 years, and I wrapped those belts around my neck, and I looked down at that floor, I knew what I was doing was right. Because at the end of the day, depression and sadness, anxiety, and all these things lie in one thing. It's your perspective. We're so caught up into one thing, and that we are the only ones that suffer in life, that we are the only people that will feel this pain. When in reality, there's people who would kill to have my bad days. See, from the very beginning, I couldn't tell that I was gifted. I was blessed with 2 parents, with a family, with a house, with food on my table, and with clothes on my skin. And yet I still try to take my life. Why? Because I was sad and I was depressed. I had no one to care for, nothing to amount to. Because I let the opinions of others be the definition of myself. And because of that, I kept telling myself I would be nothing. I would achieve nothing. I would get nowhere in life. And it all changed when I met a man named Joseph. He was our caretaker after school, and he had told me, and he would instill life lessons into me, but he told me there's one thing in life that you have to understand. You can pray, you can wish, you can want, but at the end of the day, you're the only reason why anything will change. And those words stuck with me. I stopped letting the opinions of others be the definition of myself. I went out and I achieved other things that IEP students aren't supposed to achieve, that ELA kids aren't supposed to achieve. Academic came first. Academics were easy. I studied every night. I read higher than I could. But what was the harder part in me was believing that I was something more. I had spent my whole life trying to fight just to be average, not spontaneous, not excellent, to be average, to be a straight C student. If I would have gotten that elementary, I would have flipped. I never wanted the A's, I never wanted the B's. I just wanted to be considered a normal person. Someone that wasn't disabled, someone that wasn't depressed, someone that wasn't sad, someone that had a loving family. I spent my whole life fighting for average. And now when I look back, I understand that I'm so much more than just average. Because many other kids that are cracked under this pressure. But I'm still here to tell you my story, to help you out, and to hope that you never take your life, because it is a choice that we should never have to make, because it's not our only one.